My name is Lindsay. I am the Group Events and Ticket Sales Manager with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
How did you get to your management position?
I applied for our internship my senior year of college, and I was promoted to inside sales rep. And then 6 months after that, I was promoted again to the Group Events and Ticket Sales Coordinator position. And then my management decided that it was time for me to have more responsibilities and made me a manager.
What kind of personalities do you look for during the hiring process?
I look for people who are really outgoing and people who are confident. It speaks a lot to their personality whenever you can see their confidence shining through in a phone interview or a regular interview in person.
What is the number one most important thing when it comes to managing a business?
I would say probably making sure that the culture is in a good place. Whenever you have happy employees, it makes it a better place to work and makes people work a little bit harder.
How important is establishing a culture in your business?
It's very important. Whenever you have people who are in a good place, you have very happy employees and people who are thrilled to come to work. And whenever you have a culture that's not as cohesive, they're not as excited to come in and do their jobs and get on the phones and talk to people outside of our organization.
How do you resolve a conflict in the workplace?
I usually turn that over to our human resources department. I think that it's best to let them handle a situation as an outside party, and then that way I don't create any tension with one employee or another if it's a situation where sides need to be taken.
How do you motivate individuals to want to do their jobs?
I find that incentivizing employees really works well. I have a contest going right now where my employees are trying to win a $25 gift card to Old School Bagel Cafe, and it makes them really excited to compete and do their jobs and do it well and maybe go above and beyond what they would normally do because they would like to win a gift card.
How do you deal with an employee that is toxic to your company?
Kind of the same thing as before. Just kind of talking to our human resources department and getting their input on it. I might not maybe make them talk to our human resources department, but maybe just encouraging them to spend more time with our employees and making sure that everyone is in a good place to get work done efficiently.
What kind of problems do you face with customers and how do you deal with it?
We face a lot of people, mostly on game nights, where they are upset because, whether they've missed an experience because they were stuck in traffic or they dropped a Coke on the concourse. We try to deal with that as much as we can. If we have a client who has missed a pre-game photo on the court, we try to set them up with a post-game photo on the court. If they have time to do that, and we want to rectify that situation and make sure that their extenuating circumstances don't completely ruin this experience for them that they were so excited for, that this might be the only game that they get to come out to all season. For someone who dropped a Coke, we just want to make sure that they get a new Coke, so we'll just pay for it on us.
What is your leadership style?
I like to lead by example. I think that works best for most people, seeing how it's done, seeing why it gets done a certain way, and just making sure that it gets done consistently for the other people who are affected by whatever we're doing.
What's an example of a managing technique that you think works best?
I think leading by example works best. I might be a little biased there, but I think that is what works best just because it helps people to see something done first so that they can see the whole process from beginning to end.
Can you think of anything that you think isn't very effective?
I think just completely throwing someone in the deep end might not be as effective, just because, some people, work really well under pressure and they figure out how to swim whenever you throw them in the deep end, but there are also several other people who just completely sink and can't get a job done, or can't do it well, and then you're stuck having to redo something because you've kind of thrown them somewhere where they weren't ready.
And what qualities do you have that you believe make you a good manager?
I think I'm really approachable, and I think that my employees aren't afraid to come to me whenever they have a problem, and they aren't afraid to ask me questions, which makes me a good leader.
Okay, that is all. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.